Have you ever felt that creeping sensation of being watched? That moment when reality seems to shift, leaving you questioning your own sanity? Tonight, we delve into 3 unsettling tales of encounters with the unknown. These stories will leave you with a lingering sense of unease, making you wonder what lurks just beyond the edge of perception. Prepare yourselves, and remember, some questions are better left unanswered. The Watcher in the Window. It started as an ordinary night. I was working late, the only one left in the office building. The fluorescent lights hummed softly overhead as I focused on my computer screen, determined to finish my project before the looming deadline. The clock ticked past midnight, then 1 a.m. The city outside had grown quiet, the usual bustle replaced by an eerie stillness. I rubbed my eyes, feeling the strain of staring at the screen for hours on end. That's when I first noticed it. A movement caught my eye, a flicker in the window reflection. I turned, expecting to see a cleaner or security guard, but the hallway behind me was empty, bathed in shadows. Shaking off the uneasy feeling, I returned to my work, but the sensation of being observed intensified. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The air felt heavy, charged with an inexplicable tension. I tried to focus on my task, but my concentration was shattered. Every few minutes, I found myself glancing over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone or something lurking in the darkened office. Finally, unable to bear it any longer, I slowly turned back to the window. And there, in the reflection, I saw it. A face, pale, expressionless, with eyes that seemed to bore into my very soul. It wasn't in the hallway behind me. It was outside the window, 30 floors up. My heart leapt into my throat. I spun around, knocking over my chair in my haste. But there was nothing there. When I looked back at the reflection, the face was gone. But the feeling of being watched remained, more intense than ever. With trembling hands, I gathered my things, nearly running to the elevator. As the doors closed, I could have sworn I saw a flicker of movement in the reflection of the polished metal. From that night on, I began to see the face everywhere, in shop windows, rearview mirrors, even in the screen of my phone. Always watching, always silent. Sometimes it would appear for just a split second, other times it would linger, those hollow eyes following my every move. I tried to rationalize it: stress, lack of sleep, an overactive imagination. But deep down, I knew this was something else, something that defied explanation. I don't work late anymore. I avoid reflective surfaces when I can. I've covered all the mirrors in my house. But it doesn't matter. I know it's out there, waiting, watching. And sometimes, in the dead of night, I wonder what happens when it decides to do more than just watch. The whisperer on the phone. The first call came at 3:17 a.m. I fumbled for my phone, groggy and disoriented. The harsh blue light of the screen made me squint as I answered. "Hello?" I mumbled, voice thick with sleep. At first, there was only silence, then a whisper, so faint I could barely make it out. "I see you," it said. I sat bolt upright, suddenly wide awake. "Who is this?" I demanded, my heart pounding. The line went dead. I tried to convince myself it was a prank call, but something about that whisper left me deeply unsettled. It had sounded wrong, inhuman, almost. I got up, turning on all the lights as I double-checked all the locks. Sleep eluded me for the rest of the night. The next night, another call, 3:17 a.m. on the dot. I hesitated before answering, my finger hovering over the screen. But curiosity got the better of me. The same whisper, but louder this time. I'm getting closer. I ended the call immediately, my hands shaking. This couldn't be a coincidence. I tried to trace the number, but it came up as unknown. This continued for weeks, every night, 3:17 a.m., the whisper growing louder, more insistent. I changed my number, but the calls kept coming. I stopped sleeping, jumping at every sound, convinced that someone or something was closing in on me. Dark circles formed under my eyes. My work began to suffer. Friends asked if I was okay, but how could I explain? They'd think I was crazy. Maybe I was. I tried everything. Sleeping pills, white noise machines. I even spent a night at a hotel, thinking maybe it was something in my house. But 3:17 a.m. came, and with it, the call. Almost there, the voice whispered, clearer than ever. I saw a therapist who prescribed anti-anxiety medication. It didn't help. I reached out to paranormal investigators who set up equipment in my room. The calls came, but their devices recorded nothing. Then, last night, the call came as usual. But this time, when I answered, the whisper was right next to my ear, as if the caller was in the room with me. "I'm here," I screamed, dropping the phone and scrambling out of bed. I turned on the lights, searched every inch of my room, the whole house, nothing. But I knew, deep in my bones, that something had changed. A line had been crossed. I'm writing this from a hotel room across the country. I drove all night, not stopping, not looking back. But I know it won't matter. 3:17 a.m. is approaching, and my phone is beginning to ring. What do you do when the thing you fear most can reach you anywhere? When distance and locks and reason itself mean nothing? I'm about to find out. The phone is ringing, and this time, I think I have to answer. The thing in the basement. We just moved into our new house. It was perfect, spacious, affordable, in a great neighborhood. The real estate market had been tough, but we'd finally found the thing in the basement. We just moved into our new house. It was perfect, spacious, affordable, in a great neighborhood. The real estate market had been tough, but we'd finally found our dream home. The only odd thing was the basement door. It was reinforced steel with multiple locks. The real estate agent laughed it off, saying the previous owner was security conscious. Everything was fine for the first few weeks. We settled in, unpacked, started to make the place our own. I remember joking with my wife about what the previous owner might have been keeping in the basement. Gold? Classified documents? We laughed about it. Then, one night, I heard a sound. A faint scratching coming from the basement. Probably mice, I thought. I made a mental note to pick up some traps, but it got louder. And it wasn't just scratching anymore. There were thumps, creaks, and sometimes, in the dead of night, what sounded like whispers. I tried to investigate, but every time I approached the basement door, the sounds would stop. The moment I turned my back, they'd start again. It was maddening. My wife heard it too. At first, she was skeptical, but soon she became as unnerved as I was. We argued about what to do. Call the police? But what would we say? Our basement is making weird noises. We had a pest control company come out, They found nothing. No signs of rodents or any other animals. We even had a plumber check for weird pipe noises. Nothing. The disturbances escalated. Objects would move when we weren't looking. We'd wake up to find all the kitchen cabinets open, and always those sounds from the basement. It's been months now. The noises are constant, day and night. We've had exterminators, paranormal investigators, even a priest. Nothing helps. The priest, an old man with kind eyes, took one look at the basement door and refused to go near it. He left in a hurry, making the sign of the cross. We've tried to leave, to sell the house, but something always stops us. It's like we're compelled to stay, drawn to the mystery of what lies behind that door. Last night, I heard something new, a long, low moan filled with an emotion I couldn't quite place. Anger? Hunger? It made my blood run cold. This morning, I noticed something that turned my blood to ice. The basement door, that thick steel door with all its locks, had moved, just slightly, as if something on the other side had pushed against it. There were scratch marks on the floor, as if it had shifted an inch or two. My wife is at her sister's. She couldn't take it anymore, but I can't leave. I have to know. Tonight, I'm going to open that door. I have to know what's down there. I've got a flashlight, a baseball bat, and my phone to record whatever I find. If I don't come back, well, let this be a warning. Some doors are locked for a reason. As I write this, I can hear it, scratching, whispering, waiting. It knows I'm coming. And God help me, I think it's excited. So, dear viewers, what did you think of these unsettling encounters? Have you ever experienced something that left you questioning the nature of reality? Share your stories in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed these tales of terror, hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling content. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the shadows creep too close.